Hello and welcome to Science Never Stops. I'm your host Joseph Vick with the U.S. Space and Rocket Center with today's topic, observing the moon. So we find ourselves at home, and the ability for us to explore our homes and nature and outdoors, why not go outside and observe the phases of the moon? As our closest celestial neighbor orbits around us, it changes its shape because of the orbit that it takes and how it reflects the light of the sun. Now, we can observe this and we can take note of that and make our very own moon journal. So I have made my very own moon journal so I can look out at night, and sometimes even early in the morning you can still see the moon in its phase, to look out and to see how it changes over time. So I made a small little book where I sort of binded it with string on the side, but it can be anything. You can write it in your notebook, your regular science journal that we've been doing for our Science Never Stops programming here, or you could just do one sheet of paper and have 8 circles. Now with that, my book, I have 8 different circles that I've done so that I can map out and draw out the 8 different major phases of the moon. So let's go through them together. Now I did mine on black paper. You can do yours on any color that you want, and I'm going to use chalk to color in so we can see how that light, that reflection of the sun on the lunar surface, grows during the waxing phase and then subtracts during the waning phase. So let's get started. Let's start at the beginning. My page, I have the new moon. So on this page I have it completely darked in, and on the black piece of paper it's completely darkened. So the new moon is the beginning. There is no reflection of light. Now the next new moon phase in our moon cycle is June 21st. So that's the thing to look for if you wanted to start with the new moon, but you don't have to start with the new moon. You can start at any phase and cycle through the whole thing at any starting point. So it's important with scientific data you get some certain things to add to sort of boost up your scientific nature of your journal, and that is date and time. You can also add location if you wanted to say my backyard to see where you noted this phase of the moon. So this is our new moon. I don't have anything to color in with my piece here. Now with each one of these stages, I recommend you do these observations every 2 days. So if I took note of the new moon, I would wait 2 more nights before I went out and recorded the next. And the next, since we're building, is called Waning Crescent. So here is the diagram here. So I am going to draw the Waning Crescent with my chalk to show you. There we go. So that is what you usually see in the night sky. When I grew up, I always said, look, it's the fingernail moon. So there's that little crescent moon there that you have to observe in the night sky. Continuing with our waxing phase, again, wait 2 more nights. Then we have what is a half of the moon, but it's really called the first quarter in the phases. So we have our first quarter of our moon. Wait 2 more nights. You continuing to grow in our lunar phase. We have our Waning Gibbous moon. More and more light is being reflected as it's building to its, waiting our next 2 days, to the, what we love to see most, the brightest of all the phases, the full moon, where it is fully illuminated, shining down upon us and looking up. So we have our full moon, and now we're going to be subtracting the light, which means it's going to be the waning portion of our phases, where it's darkening over time. So I'm going to go to our next phase, which is the Waning Gibbous. Not quite full there, but we are subtracting, so you see a little bit of darkness encroaching up on the moon, and that darkness will continue to grow with our waning stage. Then we move to our third quarter, where half of the moon is illuminated. Then continuing our waning phase, less and less of the moon is being visible in the night sky. We have our waning crescent, until we finally return to our new moon once again, where the cycle starts back over. This is a great activity to do as a family, where you can observe the night sky. And if it happens to be cloudy, that's okay too. You can wait one more night. These phases tend to be sort of ebb and flow between them. So you'll see a change. If you happen to have a telescope, I encourage you to take that out. If you don't have a telescope, you can also use a pair of binoculars to look at the moon. So you can see craters, you can see different aspects of the moon. How is it different from Earth? We landed there 50 years ago. Humans have explored its surface and are continuing to look at and explore even further in the years to come. So continue to look, continue to observe, and remember that science never stops.